Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science and Technology. In today's show, Science Thursday, we're going to talk about India's new hydrogen train. So let's dive deep into it. Now first, just a brief idea what the hell is happening here. Basically, this is the same stupidity that we have been following from 1800s, is that every few decades people fall for this idea, then things happen, reality happens, they forget about it, it fails, they forget about it, and then repeat. I cannot even tell you how many times this has happened. So is the idea that what if we use hydrogen as a fuel? Now let that be very clear. It would be awesome if we could drill and find hydrogen. It would be awesome. You're more likely to find helium or natural gas compared to hydrogen. So that's why it's not a valid point. You have to make your hydrogen. The moment you have to make your own hydrogen, things fall apart. So why people are so fascinated with hydrogen since 1800, so to say? Because the idea is very simple. You run your car engine, the exhaust is safe. And I do not mean safe as in like, oh, it's not going to poof us instantaneously. No, it is actually safe. It's just H2O. In terms of Earth, nothing is more neutral than that. It's like, bro, we good. We got this. So that's the whole idea. And the idea is that India can look into this. Right now, nobody is trying it. There is a very good reason for that. But we can really dive deep into it and become the world leader in that, leader in clean and renewable energy. And also, it will also boost our own made in India system. So that's there. And again, there is a good determination, patriotism with it, simply because it will reduce our oil dependency. Right now, technically, we do not have freedom simply because in 2018, we were buying from outside. 83% of oils were from outside. Now it has crossed 88%. Yeah, we are losing our independence, so to say. So if we can reduce this would be awesome. So soul is there, right? It's just stupid, but it's in the right place. The idea is good. It's just that we have made two projects and India has two trains. Now, here's the deal. Right now, if you have seen news and all that, you must have seen, almost got a feel that this is the first hydrogen train. And I am genuinely lost faith in Indian YouTubers and Indian news media. This is not the first one. This is the first one. The first one was a toy train. And why does India has toy train? Now, toy train is simply narrow gauge train that we built. Used to be there in the British India time. It's still there in Kalka, Shimla. Now, again, most of the India had that. But at the independence, we decided that's toy. It will not handle expanded India's population. So if we have to expand, we need a bigger railway, daddy railway. So daddy railway is broad gauge. So right now we run broad gauge most of the places. Some places we still have what we call this toy train, and this line Kalka Shimla railway, it has been declared as heritage railway, meaning we're not gonna tear it apart nor we're gonna upgrade it. We're gonna keep running it. So it's a heritage system. So idea was, what if we put a lot of money? Now again, that system is ancient. And it is ancient, as in like the signals are still that old chevron style signals. They are not electrical signals yet. So again, heritage system, so people are keeping it as it is. It's a 100-kilometer line. It has 18 stops, and again, it's all mountains. Again, if you get the luxury to go there, do travel in it. I have done that. It's decent. And the maximum gap between stops is 11 kilometer. Most stops are closer than that, but it's a very scenic route and it's a single line. So you generally stop a long time simply because a train is coming. So it will park in the station, then you will go there. So that's how they single line is utilized thoroughly. And it's a surprisingly well used system because in that mountainous region, a lot of people use it. So it was the idea, and they built this thing, and it is expensive AF. Now this is supposed to be launched by basically December 2024. Now if you're like watching this video, it's like, what happened? Well, nothing happened. And they had a lot of technical issues, and with some extra technical issues, and latest update is supposed to be launched in June 2025. Nothing happened. I'm making this in August 2025, and till my best knowledge, again, I hope I'm wrong, but I've also uploaded a video of a guy who just did a tour, and people who are doing tours generally buy the expensive trains. It's still not functional. So again, as of now, I'm putting it on the record, so to say, that this train is still not running. And again, this is supposed to be our first train, and we built it, we ran it, test and all that jazz. So I have no idea how the heck this train got the name is like India's first hydrogen train. I have no idea. And this is supposed to be a broad gauge, meaning the big puppies, DMU being diesel multiple unit. Now, we generally supposed to have one giant locomotive eating a lot of coaches. That is more economical, but it's not suitable if you have a lot of start stops. So if you are going from capital to capital, we will travel in what we classify as express train. So locomotive, lots of coaches, yeet speed. Engine it takes a sweet time to get up to speed, and then it takes sweet time to stay at that speed and then land. But DMUs are designed differently. They have multiple units basically, which is doing propulsion. So not only one locomotive that has powered axle, you will have three in front, three in middle, three in end, or six depending on the design. So that's how you will have very quick acceleration and very quick deceleration. But it's not designed for top speed. So top speed is always lower. These are generally done on branch lines where you have a lot of small stops, and it's not even called station at that point in time. It's called halts. It's very small. But again, India does have large enough population that we do utilize a lot of them. And again, it's similar in other places also. So you generally have express, that is locomotive yeet, and you have this sort of DMU designs, or EMU, which is again, instead of diesel, you have electric for multiple units. So you can accelerate super quickly and decelerate very quickly. Now, this puppy is gonna be 1200 horsepower. Now, again, it looks like a locomotive design, but it will still, to best of my understanding, I think it still will transmit power to the other powered axle. So it will still have like, DMU-like behavior. And not to mention, the caps would be on both sides. So you can control it one and four, even though hydrogen cylinders and fuel cells will be only in one end. So that's the idea behind it. Now, India has a lot of DMUs simply because a lot of places, if it's a high priority place, so let's just say there's a station near me. It's very big, very successful. It's been there for like since I was born, and they created a branch line from there. And that branch line was also, but again, the early days, they just laid the tracks, they opened the service. How would you open the service? There is no electrical overhead wire. So they started with DMU. Once they figured it out, yeah, there is enough demand for it if people are going YOLO on it, then they put overhead wires. Now, India still to this day has few places, not a lot. India has done amazing work. We have crossed, like, there is only one or two countries in Europe that has more electrification than us. We have like really, really good electrification coverage, like horrifyingly good. And but some places are still in those awkward place where it's like, do we really justify the cost of overhead wires? Because again, tracks are there and tracks are the same gauge. It's just that overhead wire is still expensive, and we have to have substation every 3-4 kilometers, something like that. So it is expensive. So people are like, again, if you have throughput, go YOLO. Then there is no discussion. And again, India has crossed 93%, 94% long ago. And again, some places we can't do electrification simply because of, well, we have China on one side, Pakistan on the other side, especially in Jammu Kashmir. So that places, Indian army is like, yeah, bro, let's just have diesel system. So far more independence. So we have certain, so Indian government is like, what if in those sort of remote location, instead of relying on diesel, which again, we are buying from outside, what if we use HMU, hydrogen multiple units? Now, this puppy is 12,000 horsepower. Now, if you are not familiar with locomotives, that number may sound huge or may sound tiny. That number is meh at best for DMU. And when it comes to locomotive, because it looks like a locomotive, quacks like a locomotive, yeah, it's a lol. India's started to create its own train system, which we call locomotives. We call it WAP series. Like W is for wide gauge, A is for AC traction. We used to have DC traction also during colonial India. So wide gauge, AC traction, and P and G would be there. P is passenger, G is goods. Generally, hardware will be the same. It's just the gearing and the motor. The bull gear and the pinion gear would be changed. The ratio would be changed. So you'll have high torque in goods train, and you'll have high velocity in basically passenger. So WAP and WAG. Almost all we make WAG, then we make WAP. So WAP 1 was the first time we actually, it's like, okay, instead of just buying from Switzerland, let's make our own. That puppy had more than this. And that was in before 90s. That's like, we shut it down before 90s. That's how old that was. And right now, India has like WAP 12, and that puppy is 12,000 horsepower. And again, 6,000 is like, okay. 4,000, I don't even see anything that is below 3,000 in active service now. So this number is not magnificent. And again, anybody who understands hydrogen is like, yeah, good luck with this. You don't have that kind of, I'm pretty sure it will go, if it goes balls to the wall full out, it will run out of hydrogen in few seconds. So this is the project. I have no idea why this people calling this, it looks like India's first hydrogen. It's not. This is the first. I have no idea what happened to this. And if it looks like a weird thing, simply because it's the same hardware as a DMU, they are just swapping the parts inside. So they are putting the hydrogen tank and fuel cell. Nothing else is changing inherently. And that's actually a good thing. You're not supposed to change too many things if you do not need to change it. So what exactly is the problem? Why I'm like sarcastic about it? Well, here's the, you have to understand this. Science is not man-made. I have no idea how the heck this idea came to be, but like people think that science is man-made. No, it's not religion. It's not man-made. Science is man-discovered, meaning Einstein finds E equal to mc square in the laws of nature. E equal to mc square was, is, and will be, whether we are humans are here or not here, and it never changes. Meaning, it was not like, oh, equal to mc in 1700, then it became equal to mc square in 1900s, in 2000 it became equal to mc cube. So if something is on scientific level, scientific principle level, it will not change. Like, done, we good, we got this, it will not change. It's like once we figured it out, once we verify it, of course we can increase its resolution. Basically, think in this way: you have a photograph of a mountain that is 2 megapixel versus 22 megapixel, but the mountain will not change. So, and yes, that does happen. So your Newton will come along. It's like, okay, the gravity, things, okay, that's good enough. That's a 2 megapixel photo. We are starting to understand things. Einstein will cover, nana bra, general relativity. That's a 22 megapixel photo. It's like, oh, now we can calculate even precision. Somebody in the future may figure out how to have marriage between quantum realm and general relativity, and boom, even like 200 megapixel photo. But again, we are not there yet, but that's the whole point. But none of them will declassify or deconstruct what we already know. It will be just like, yeah, sloppy, good resolution, better resolution, but it will not change. So equal to mc square will remain equal to freaking mc square. So laws of physics cannot change. You have to understand that, and you have to acknowledge it. Only then what I'm saying will gonna make sense. So in the known laws of physics, hydrogen is not a good energy carrier. Like, yeah, hydrogen is not a good energy carrier. It will not change. And again, like, you have to understand, this is how sure we are in our understanding of science, that it's not man-made. We figured out periodic table. People are like, yeah, it's not looking full. They're like, there's supposed to be some things missing. They put blank space there, and tada, decades later, somebody's like, yeah, this was missing. Decades later, yeah, something missing. And to this day, we haven't found something that goes in between those two elements, because again, it won't. It's complete number. Science. You can create new, you can add to it, but can't subtract from it. So let that be clear. Never ever fall for that BS ideas like, oh, technology is better. If the fundamental physics is not different, it's not that different. So if hydrogen does not have enough energy, it will never have enough energy. So why is that? Well, if you look into periodic table, the low density is the biggest problem. Meaning, if you never paid attention into school and you do not know the difference between kilograms and liters, as in one it is a measurement of volume, let's just say you may be calling it gallons, and one is a measurement of mass, which let's just say you call it a tons or pounds. In those sort of scenario, I can show you this graph and I can brain damage you. I can tell you hydrogen has 3 times the energy density than energy capacity than basically petrol and diesel. Would that be scientifically true? Yes, but it would be calling in megajoules kilogram. So yes, you can have upwards of 120 megajoule per kilogram. Now, like, okay, doesn't that make them better? No, because you have to carry the damn thing. No matter what you have, you always have to carry things like this, meaning you have to have a volume where you fill it up. It does not matter whether it's a solid, liquid, or gas. Even if it's a compressed tank gas, it still has a volume, and volume is always in liter. So if you look into China's recent hydrogen train they sold it to Chile, it's like 320 liters. Each pressurized tank is 320 liters. Now, pressure inside can change. Of course, it could be 350 bars, it could be 600 bars, or maybe even more than that. Or highest it can go is liquid. Because again, gas will always be lower density than liquid. So why don't we use liquid? Room temperature does not support liquid hydrogen. So that's why liter matters. So the moment you go from, okay, I have 120 kilojoule, basically, megajoule per kilogram. Cool, awesome. How much space do I need to carry the damn thing? Yeah, diesel at that point in time will be like, bro, don't even come close. Diesel, again, that's why it's very high density fuel. This puppy gives you almost 38 megajoule per liter, meaning 38 megajoule will fit inside that. Now here's the hydrogen. If you are using liquid hydrogen, 8. That's it, and this whole volume will be filled. Meaning you have to have 11 liters, give or take something like that to compensate. And if you are using like realistic hydrogen, which is compressed hydrogen, if it's 350 bars, which again, people, if they're carrying a lot of it, generally do not like ludicrously high pressure. So if you're using 350 bars, barely 2 to 3 megajoule per liters. And if you're using 700, which most people want to use for road transport, that is like, still 4. Again, all of them are below 8. And again, that's why we every modern rocket systems are saying bye-bye to hydrogen. All of them are switching to methane. Hydrogen is not that good. Even if it has highest specific impulse, by the time you have to carry a giant tank and giant insulation and giant this and that, it's like, yeah, let's go back to methane. Again, diesel and gasoline, both of them has so much power. And again, even with conversion in efficiency, you still get more than 100% of hydrogen. So you cannot compare. Again, in the early days, like just after World War II, people did try to make things out of hydrogen, simply because back then, and again, diesel is still hard to burn. Like if you see black smoke, why we have see black smoke? It's very hard to burn. And like it's very, very difficult to get clean combustion on diesel. We use gasoline simply because it's easier to combust. So diesel is really awesome. It's just that we haven't built an engine that has like constant volume combustion. So it's not completely, like we haven't even utilized full of it. But here's the deal. We have extracted 100% of usable energy out of it. Meaning your jet engine that is flying on diesel right now can easily exceed what a hydrogen could do, even on paper. So this will never ever change. Does not matter 1800, does not matter 1900. In early years, people thought of it as like, hey, what if we use that? But they're like, yeah, by the time hydrogen engineering came good enough to be utilized, they're like, yeah, bro, we crossed the threshold. We are now above 10% conversion efficiency. Yeah. And again, hydrogen was also not 100% efficient. So fundamentally, you cannot carry enough. No matter what you do, under the known laws of physics, you can't carry enough. Another aspect, because you are not drilling and finding hydrogen, you have to make hydrogen. And there you have to pay the penalty of electricity, meaning total round trip efficiency matters. Meaning if you are charging your electric car for traveling 100 kilometers, but how much electricity you have to put in? And you're like, okay, it's based on the speed and based on the mass. Cool, awesome. But here's the deal. What if you poured, let's say, 300 units of electricity and you only got 100 units of electricity out of it? You'll be like, dude, that's stupid, too inefficient. That's the whole point with hydrogen. So if you're lucky, like really lucky, you're looking at 30 to 40% of round trip efficiency, meaning for every 100 unit of output you need input of 300. And again, that's like 30%. Best case scenario, really optimized, money is no object, you can go to 40. And how does it compare against EV that is in market right now? 80 to 90%. So why is that? Again, law of physics. Meaning you take 2.9 kilowatt from electricity from the grid, you have to pay for it, then you electrolyze. You're going to throw away 30% of the energy. It will go away because again, you are doing phase change. Liquid is changing into phase. Again, electrically, but it is phase change. And again, you are eating oxygen away. You're not going to carry HHO gas. So fundamentally, some energy is going in the phase change, some energy is going in the oxygen. So you are losing 30% of there. Then you have to compress it. There's design, they're compressing it very little. So you're going to throw away 9% of energy there. And then you're going to go fuel cell. Yeah, fuel cell is 60% efficient only because it's literally electrolysis in reverse. Fundamentally, it's not going to be that efficient. You throw away 30 to 40% of it. And then you have converter and all that. So no matter what you do, you have to start with a lot of power here so you can get some power there. And you have to always pay for it, and you want to pay for that, not this. And this is why electric car makes sense, while hydrogen car does not make sense. So this idea, people are like, oh, hydrogen car has no load on grid. No, it has 3x the load. It's just that you all go bankrupt. You will just not notice it. It won't be in one place. It will be either a steam reforming plant that is polluting using natural gas conversion, or it would be electrical plant that is drinking water like there is no tomorrow, because again, there is very little hydrogen in 1 liter of water. Very little, like 1 liter of water, almost this much hydrogen at best. Hydrogen is very little, like the molecule is tiny. So very serious amount of water consumption and fresh water as of now, and bonkers amount of electricity consumption. It's just like your whole national grid will be like, I can't take this. If everybody computes, oh, electric car will collapse the grid, hydrogen will annihilate it, because take the electrical, multiply by 3. That's why. And these are on law of physics level. It will never change. So if you're like, okay, what if in the future, let's say we push this to 40 to 50, this will be crossing 95 at that point in time. So no matter what you do, and even if you are getting energy from renewables, people who are stupid will think, oh, what if we get solar? It's like, cool, awesome, solar are GG. You still have to pay the solar panel. Still have to pay for the copper. It's still expensive. So fundamentally, these are the physics level problem. It will never change, no matter what you do. So why people are doing it? If I am telling this, that means they must know it, or either I'm wrong. Now here's the deal. If you are stupid enough to buy it, I am smart enough to sell it to you. For example, let's say Amsterdam sends you a DMU. They can't charge too much to you. Because why? Because if they charge stupid amount, you will go to someone else who will give you reasonable price, because there is a lot of companies, a lot of competition. But if you convince them hydrogen BS, they can charge you whatever they want. And once you have got into the contract, they can keep increasing the price, and it's in their best interest. So what about growing pains? They will deal with it, simply because once they get you hooked into the system, you are stuck there permanently. Every company loves contracts like this, where there's like, you cannot go to someone else even if you try. Money. So again, if I show you the price of those toy train, it's more expensive than 12,000 horsepower we have on broad gauge. So fundamentally, it's like, again, you are stupid enough to buy it. Again, China will sell you hydrogen train. Heck, I will sell you hydrogen engine if you are stupid enough to buy it. So fundamental. And now let's understand about politician. Politician sells hype. If public is like, oh, we want hyperloop, of course they will sell you hyper. If we want hydrogen, they're going to sell it to you. It's their job. And why is their job? Because there is no penalty. For example, the German people, the German counselor, the German bureaucrats who approved this, who did studies on this, and it was launched in 2020, and then it was shut down in 2022. Would they lose their job? Answer, no. Would they lose their pension? No. People will forget about it and they will just F you. So again, fundamentally unreliable. It was not working. It was costing them. And when they redid everything, it was like, yeah, it would have been cheaper if it just had overhead wire. Overhead wire would be like one-time expense, and then its running cost would have slowly panned out. It's like, oh, this is a loan that has ludicrously high interest rate. Why? Again, conversion inefficiency. Overhead wires, like 94% round trip efficiency. So fundamentally, it's just like they tried it and they were like, yeah, let's just use with the battery if we do not want to pay for that overhead system. Because again, hydrogen, you will go bankrupt. And again, they built it. They did it. Like 500 million a pound project. Oh, not pound. I think it's euro. Yeah. What's the penalty? Would the politician who did the ribbon cutting or the politician who gave the green light was like, this will be a great day for Germany, did they suffer any consequences? And you know the answer. The answer is nothing. So, and science only works on vigilance. The moment you ever start to say things like, oh, they know, you lost science. We teach you in school for this exact reason. So if somebody comes here, hydrogen has more, you're supposed to bonk them with the head with this. That's the whole reason we teach you in school. We do not teach you in school so a scientist can say to you, it's like, no, hydrogen is best. No, you're supposed to check it. That's the whole point of teaching you. Science only works on vigilance, because again, we have entire history filled with bad things happening simply because of argument from authority. They know. Professors, experts, whole humanity is filled with abomination because of that stupidity. So again, argument from authority. People are lazy. They would try to do it. It's your vigilance that keeps them in check. And again, imagine if Germany was announcing it and everybody was like, no, why you are doing this? Again, all the science is known from 1800s. If everybody was like against it, there are politicians like, yo, I'm not that yo. So they would have done that. So fundamentally, they know more than you. The moment you start to think like that, you are dumb. You are just dumb. And you're like, oh, no, but they are professors. Again, that's the whole point. We teach you for this exact reason. You're supposed to calculate. And again, this is basic physics things. I'm not talking about biology and medicine and all that. This is simple. Like, you're supposed to be able to calculate 8 is smaller than 32. Oh, that Chilean locomotive. I'm not even joking. They're flat. Like, yeah, it's more exponentially more expensive than diesel. I'm like, what was the point? So fundamentally, and engineers will work on it. This is the, like, even I like Linus Tech Tips, but he was like, oh, when I was like talking about Hyperloop, that is BS 7 years ago. And like, oh, people think like the engineers know, they know more than engineers. I'm like, engineers will work on anything if you pay them. They have their wives, they have their kids. And if they're in 120 countries, if they have wives, that simply means they cannot lose their job. If they lose their job, wife divorces them, they get alimony and they will put in jail. Go to family court near you, you will see that. So yeah, they're gonna work on anything. You're like, make space shuttle. They're like, dude, this is bad idea. It will go boom 1 in 100. They're like, make it. Okay. Make Concorde. They're gonna make it. It's like anybody. Heck, this is Soviet Union. The first time somebody flown a jumbo jet, quote unquote, on liquid hydrogen. This puppy was Tu-155. They made it. They flown it. Why did engineers do that? They did not do it will not work. Of course they knew it did not work. They flew it in 15 April 1988. And like, okay, isn't Airbus building new one? Of course they're building new one. Why? Because somebody in European Union smoked and they're like, we're going to ban hydrocarbon by 2050. Politicians does not suffer the consequences. Engineers will work on anything if you pay them. So I do not envy the engineers in Airbus. They were like, dude, this is stupid. We've been there. We've been this route. We've done this. 8 is not enough. But again, this is why it happens. If you are stupid enough to buy it, I am smart enough to sell it. And again, why did that happen? Because politicians are not checked by public. Public wants to be lazy. Public wants to be dumb because, oh, they know better. It's like, why would they know better? If you are not doing the mathematics, why would they do it? So what's the penalty of it? That happened. Like, what's the penalty? Penalty is you will get more inflation, be it Germany, be it India. We will not be able to afford food, and we're going to have even more poverty. And again, let that be very clear. This is our own doing. This is not politicians. This is not on engineers. This is on us. If somebody can come along and sell you solar roadway and nothing in your brain triggers is like, bro, have we covered every rooftop? Have we covered every school? Have we covered every canal? Every basically parking spot? Have we covered those things? Have we covered those? Like, once those things are done, every railway station, have we gone through those? Only then it's like, okay, if you're running low on space, then you do that. But somehow I can sell you enough brain damages. Like, you know what? The best place to put solar panel is under the freaking road, which will not even be perfectly facing the sun. And it will have vehicles on top of it. And then we're going to build a magical material that does not get scratched when a car is driving on it. And somehow people burnt billions of dollars on it. Then who is at fault? Is the government? No, it's you. What's the point of you sending you to school? It's like kings and queens were worried for nothing. They were like, okay, if we educate the masses, the masochists will rise up and will not be able to exploit them. They're like, nah, sell them solar roadway, man. Like, how the heck this happened? And it's like, Nicola guy, hydrogen trucks. I'm like, how the heck that happened? So again, it's very simple. It's your laziness. You do not want to do the mathematics. So you are lazy. And again, this is not complex mathematics. This is, again, what you study in school. And again, it will lead to your own doom. And again, no news media is covering it. No YouTube channel is covering it. And again, it's our money that will be burnt on this. So fundamentally, be it Hyperloop, be it Solar Roadway, or be it, God knows, so many projects like that. The idea is very simple. Argument from authority equals dumb. Meaning you gonna starve to death because you are lazy, because you had, oh, they should know better. I can guarantee you the Airbus engineer who's making that hydrogen thing, he knows 10 times more than me. It's just like, bro, I got you. But it's like the law. 2050 is the deadline with the law. And again, human law, not physics law. So that's the penalty of it. So people are lazy, people will suffer. It's almost like nature's survival of the fittest. Nature does not translate dumb people. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna ship delete you, man. So this was my presentation on basically India's newest stupidity with hydrogen. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike. Press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.